Hello everyone, I'm Forrest McFreelava, and this is Speedplay Papal Italy number 13. We left off still at war with the Ottoman Empire. The British still have a bit of a presence in Africa, as well as the Egyptians, who we have left as a terribly disfigured mess of a state. But we're going to go ahead and declare a quick war on them to make them even more of a mess that we'll have to deal with as the next 20 or so years pan out. Ultimately, though, we're also going to first keep building all of these tanks. They're very important. We're also going to build an incredibly large, about 80-man group, or 80 regiment group, so about 240,000 men. From our African holdings, we will make that entire new group and just sort of spread it out through Africa. Right now, we still have a large force just built up near our mustering grounds. We'll probably just leave them there, as there isn't very much that really needs to occur. Our armies spread out throughout Egypt. While they are a civilized nation, they are not so advanced that their armies can stand up to our just overwhelming superiority of numbers. So we managed to just flow right through. It looks as though France is in a war. We're just going to leave them be for now. And we are going to justify our war against the Danes. We take a look at spheres of influence around the world, nothing terribly exciting going on with that. And ultimately we'll just hope that we'll get more casus bellis. The French managed to win their war against Bavaria, retaking Alsace-Lorraine. And we're able to finally add some war goals against Egypt and the Ottoman Empire. So I'll go ahead and do that very quickly, and hopefully be able to add even more in a moment. At any rate, we move forward just a bit in time, and hopefully we will be able to add these war goals. And it looks as though we do have enough jingoism. We can add a couple new war goals. We got Egypt up to around 95%. That's really good enough. We also declare war on Denmark, and we'll just move our forces against them. However, apparently the Dutch joined the Danes, and now our armies are kind of stuck in both countries. We go ahead and make peace with Egypt, turning them into an even more disgusting mess of a country. And we're not actually going to peace out with the Ottomans just yet. The North Germans, it appears, also joined our war against the Danes, so we're actually going to be fighting quite a few people right now. We are managing to win pretty handedly in the Netherlands, as well as more or less against the Danes. The North Germans are also fighting the French right now, so hopefully that will distract a decent number of their forces away from us. We do also have the first tanks in the world pretty much ready and going. Austria is the only other country in the world producing tanks right now. However, since we have the most prestige, and they are not in anyone's sphere of influence, other than domestic consumption, we will be the only people that the Austrians sell tanks to. So we need to constantly be producing tanks so that no other country will get their tanks. Now, the North Germans are willing to accept peace, which would just be on the terms we started the war for, and is really everything that we want, which is just Danish Guiana, the one province in colonial Africa that we declared this war in order to get. However, we're going to fabricate a claim against Austria and make them release Poland-Lithuania. We will also add the war goal, once we get jingoism, of liberate people, and we will just liberate Poland-Lithuania from the North Germans as well. And as a result, probably completely prevent Germany from forming essentially ever. So right now we're basically waiting for one of two things to give us military access into North Germany. For one, we do still have all of our forces kind of trapped in the north. They'll probably be able to hold their own. The North Germans don't have gas defense, so we're able to just kind of keep gassing their soldiers in just brutal and horrific numbers. Back in the main front, we can't really cross over. They are sending troops down to us. They are a bit of a problem in the north, and sadly the North Germans did make peace with the French, so they're able to pull their forces back up and just kind of smash into our armies in the Netherlands. We are about to go to war with the Austrians, so we'll just march our armies through Austria and into the North Germans. I realized later on that Alsace-Lorraine actually touches our Swiss territories, so we could have just rammed our armies up through Alsace-Lorraine and into the North Germans that way. At any rate, since I didn't realize that at the time, we just rush our armies from Denmark down to the Netherlands in order to just try to save what we can. Unfortunately, we are attacked, and one of our forces isn't doing too very well. Ultimately, it is a bit of a problem. A lot of our forces are doing very poorly. We do manage to get more jingoism, so we're going to add another bit of demands against the Ottoman Empire. We'll probably piece them out after that. And we just sort of make demands against both the Netherlands and also the Danes. We're not really going to take very much from either country, as we don't really want very much of their lands. We're just going to take some of the Dutch North American holdings, and probably also Iceland and Greenland from the Danes, because, well, it's just a lot of land and it's very nice. We are fighting quite a few naval engagements against the Dutch fleets. Sadly, we are having a bit of an issue with our transports getting sunk, which basically kills off portions of our army in transit, and that is rather sad. At any rate, we can make peace with the Ottomans. We go ahead and do so, just pushing our borders a little bit further. We're going to have to keep fighting them if we want to actually hopefully annex, well, not annex them, but hopefully annex a decent portion of their territory by the end of the game. We might end up annexing them, who's to say? It really depends on what we're able to do. At any rate, we declare war on the Austrians and begin moving our forces forward into their territories. They are at war with the North Germans, and interestingly, that just means that it's a tremendous, essentially free-for-all, just in the German territories. We're going to free Poland-Lithuania from Austria and then rove into the North German Confederation and free Poland-Lithuania from them as well. At which point, we will really have completed all of our demands against the two states. We could maybe roll in later and puppet Austria, although if we're going to do that or not remains up in the air. Another thought that we could do is we may actually start puppeting all of the remaining South German states and just kind of bring them into our sphere of influence. We are starting to lose a couple naval battles. That's just because I built a group of 30 transports, so we wouldn't have to worry about transports any longer. And unfortunately, they're getting picked off as they try to make it to the rally points. We do piece out the Dutch, just taking the one thing we had hoped for from them. It's not really anything big, just a little bit because they made us fight them. Our armies are roving around against the North Germans and Austrians, and all of our forces that were in the Netherlands are just kind of roving through. One thing that I really wish Victoria 3 will have is actually having to worry about supplying your armies through supply lines. I feel like Victoria and Hearts of Iron really should intermesh more than they do, and that a kind of hybrid game between the two of them would probably be the best thing possible, especially, I don't know exactly how far they're going with Hearts of Iron 4, but by being able to give AI orders to control your armies, that would be a humongous boon to this game. And all of the industry and colonialism and all the empire building in this game really would set the stage for Hearts of Iron incredibly well. Now, I don't imagine that's something we'll ever see, or at least not in the next maybe 5 years. But later on, that would be something amazing and just completely fantastic. At any rate, we are at war with Baden in order to turn them into a puppet of ours. We're going to do the same against Württemberg and then Bavaria. If we do get an extra jingoism event, we might force the North Germans to release their one province in the South German area. And if we're able to successfully do that, I'm not sure, we might not be able to, but it is possible that we'll be able to form the South German Confederation as a puppet state, which would quickly grow into a great power and kind of become a problem. Admittedly, that statement just there makes it sound like a terrible idea. Ultimately, though, I would kind of like to have at least a somewhat friendly South German state to buffer between us and the North Germans. Admittedly, it might be better to just keep them as separate independent states, and I'm not even sure we would be able to form the South German Confederation even if they all were in our sphere of influence. Ultimately, though, that's kind of just an issue for another day. We will keep our armies roving, get them against the borders of Bavaria. We don't have enough jingoism to make any more demands of the North Germans just yet, so it's all up in the air for now. We are, however, next up going to attack Bavaria. Hopefully that'll be just a very quick and straightforward war. They don't have any alliances, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. There are a few territories still left in the North German Confederation, and we've just discovered the third way. So fascism is now a thing that can take hold in countries, and I imagine it's going to be incredibly popular, seeing as all of these countries have been broken up. At any rate, the Italian colonial conquest of Danish Guiana has been one of the bloodiest wars to date. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.